Hey, welcome everyone. Pat Mitchell here with Tricktrades, and in today's episode, we're going to be discussing a question that I get asked all the time: stocks or options? Which one's better? So I'm going to tell you which one I personally trade and why, and we're going to compare the two while using a trade example from a trade that I personally took today. So if this is something you're interested in, make sure to stick around and like, share, and subscribe. And if this isn't something you're interested in, well, beat it, nerd, because we got work to do. Let's head into the charts now and let's discuss this. See you on the inside, folks. So, like I said in the opener, stocks or options, which one's better? Well, personally, right now, I trade options. I will probably never go back to stocks for a number of reasons that we'll get into in this video. Now, I used to trade stocks. I started out trading stocks until I discovered what I call my boss strategy. And it stands for basic options, simple strategy. It is one of the simplest strategies out there. Now, don't turn this off. This is not going to turn into some sort of long commercial for Tricktrades. That's not what I want this to be about. I want this to be about, a really good pros and cons list of stocks and options. Now, stocks have their place. I will sometimes swing trade stocks opposed to options because of premium meltdown or premium time decay in options. That can make it a little difficult. But as for a day trading standpoint, I find options to be an amazing way to have very little capital in to make your money. When I was trading stocks like Apple and Facebook and all of these stocks, SPY, the S&P 500, I had to put in, now depending on the position, when Apple was a $200-$300 stock, I would be putting in 1,000 shares. Now, I wouldn't expect you to be trading 1,000 shares of Apple. That's fine. But when you look at the price, let's say it's a $200 stock. Well, 1,000 shares, that's $200,000 in. So it's about capital, how much capital you're going to tie up in the markets. Now, the same position on an Apple trade, 1,000 shares on Apple is the equivalent of 10 contracts. Now, a contract per contract on options for, let's say, Apple can range between $1 per contract, which is $100 per one, or $3. But let's use the sake of $1, just $1, okay? So 1,000 shares of Apple on the equivalent, because each contract of options is 100 shares. So you're looking at 10 contracts. So that's about $1,000 position, okay? So $1,000 opposed to $200,000 plus is a big deal, right? So you can take multiple positions. You don't have to worry about the PDT rule with options. Now, I'm beyond that, but there's a lot of traders that start out underfunded and they don't know how to trade options, and they look to trade penny stocks, and because they're cheap, right? Well, there's an easier way to get these big gains, big percentage gains, but without having to go into having a massive account and this and that. Sorry, guys, I know that it's a little bit loud in the background, but I've got some contractors at the house here. But anyways, we'll move on. So it really is, it just depends on what you want to do. Let's take this AMD example, okay? Now, this is a trade I personally took today. Now, the way that the market was trading first thing in the morning, I didn't like, this was our level to go long, and this was our level to go short. Okay, so because there wasn't a lot of distance at the open, although it gave a perfect retest and we could have taken it long and members did, I didn't. I wanted to wait. I didn't like the action first thing in the morning. So with that said, I waited for the short. Now, because we squeezed up with this type of speed and distance into the level, that's where I took the trade. And I'm going to show you my execution chart here in a second, okay? But this trade, now I didn't have a huge position on it. This wasn't, I maybe had a $5,000 position on it, and I made almost $2,000 on it. Now, and I'm not still holding it. I only took it down to here. That's where I got out, okay? So it's a small move, but you can make big gains with limited capital in, and that's why I love options. Now, Some people also ask me, can I trade at Tricktrades even though you trade options? Can I trade stocks? Yes, 100%. It is the exact same strategy. In fact, my strategy works with stocks, options, and futures. It is all the same. It is the exact same strategy we use no matter what vehicle you use to trade. So I really do prefer to trade options. You can get massive percentage gains. Now, some people have a hard time believing that I can take multiple trades during the week and they'll be 100% trades. Now, if you go to Tricktrades Options YouTube channel, you can see where I have all my trade recaps, and there's multiple 100% gainers there. And that's like holding, let's say, a penny stock from $3 all the way to $6. Or if Apple at a $200 stock went all the way to $400, it's the same thing. 100% is 100%. So you have an opportunity to really change your life with options. And since discovering this strategy, I'll never go back. I will never go back, and I'm willing to share this strategy with you guys. Just to keep in mind before we wrap this session up, and I get into my trade executions here, and I know this is a little bit long-winded. Tricktrades has a Black Friday sale going on all week, starting today, Monday, November 23rd, and going into the beginning of December. Massive savings on all education, 35% off all educational videos, and 20% off first month, both mentoring and guidance. So that's something I've never done before. And then 50% off all scan bundles as well. So now let's head into the chart. So you can see, and I'm going to pull this over. Now remember, I took this short. So these are puts, and this is the options chart. So like I said, as it comes into the level, and I waited for extreme extension on it, nailed it. Okay, like I said, it's not a big position, guys. It's not a big position at all. Okay, so hit it with my entry. And then as soon as it starts coming in, I always lock some in, always. So I paid myself a little bit, just in case it wants to reverse and head north. And then I can stop out with either a small profit or slightly green. Okay, now that's how I manage my risk. That's one of my little tricks that I use and have used throughout the years in order to be consistently green as much as I am. So as soon as it keeps coming down, every time it washes big, I'm going to pay myself some more. So you can see all of my exits are at highs of the peak, right? You see we have a valley, we have a peak, we have a valley, we have a peak, peak, valley, peak, valley, and so on. All of my executions are either at valleys and peaks. I wait for extremes. Now, if you remember that and you trade extremes, especially on options, that's where the magic lies with options. A lot of people fear, one of the cons of options is people are afraid of premium decay, time decay, premium meltdown. I don't fear it. I understand how it works, and it's very simple how it works. And I don't look at the options chart in order to gauge that. I solely rely on the stock chart. So to answer your question, stocks or options, will your strategy work with it? And which one's better? Well, number one, the strategy works on everything like I've already discussed. And number two, I prefer options because you need limited capital to get involved with it to make life-changing gains. Again, this trade won't make you rich, guys. That's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm not here to tell you that you're going to get rich off of this shit, okay? You're not. Not on one singular trade, but over time, you will. Small gains really do add up. And I know that that's a trading cliche at this point, but the truth is the truth. So come to tricktrades.com. And if you want to be a real trader, trading real stocks, come join us. So I hope this answers some questions, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something, and we'll catch you on the next ones, folks. Adios.